The following is a presentation of The Day.
3, 2, 1.
Thanks for joining us on Live Lunch Break. It is noon on Thursday. My name is Rick Coster, and we are streaming from theday.com. As always, we are at the Telegraph record shop in New London and surrounded by the miracles of vinyl. It's a beautiful thing. Our guest today is the Reverend Freakchild, and Rev, it's kind of appropriate that you're here today. It's the first live lunch break we've had since the passing of B.B. King, and the Reverend, you know him. He's done so much since he was born in Hawaii and matriculated to New York City and Boston, and he was in Banana Fish. He was in an early version of Soul Coughing, but metaphorically, he was always in the Mississippi Delta, at least so far as I'm concerned. And you're going to hear a lot of really amazing, an amalgam of all sorts of influences today from a terrific player and singer and songwriter. He's got a brand new album called Hillbilly Zen Punk Blues. And the only reason he didn't throw classical in the title is because there wasn't enough room on a CD. If it was the old vinyl days, you could have done it, right?
You have more space there, yeah.
A really, really nice, fun, and smart man who's a tremendous musician. This is the Reverend Freakchild.
Thank y'all. Well, since you mentioned B.B. King, well, let's do one "Old as the Hills" for him. A little ode to the ancestors and to the late great B.B. King. Hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all. I went on there for B.B. King, man. What an amazing talent. You know, I was reading Billy Gibbons, you know, ZZ Top fame there. The old Reverend Billy Gibbons talking about, you know, it's hard to imagine a world without B.B. King, man. He was just he's like an international ambassador to the blues, man. Just such the old school, the new school, and just recorded with everybody, you know, from Willie Nelson to Sesame Street characters, I think, you know. So anyway, a little shout out to him and wherever he may be in the ethers, the other side, or well, maybe not to be morose, but you know, and lately I've been down with the Dharma and the Buddhism thing, but ain't nothing wrong with JC and the boys. But here's another one as old as the hills, you know, as old, just everybody owns this song. It's anyway, here it is. In my time of dying, don't want nobody to mourn. All I want my friends to do is fold my dying arms and say, well, so I can die easy. Well, so I can die, Lord. I say, well, so I can die easy. Jesus gonna make 'em, Jesus gonna make 'em, Jesus gonna make 'em a dying bear. Jesus, meet me in the middle of the air. And if this wing should fail me, Lord, just meet me with another bear. I say, well, so I can die easy. Well, so I can die, Lord. I say, well, so I can die easy. Jesus gonna make 'em, Jesus gonna make 'em, Jesus gonna make 'em a dying bear. Meet me, Jesus, meet me in the middle of the air. And if this wing should fail me, Lord, meet me with another bear. I say, well, so I can die easy. Well, so I can die, Lord. I say, well, so I can die easy. Jesus gonna make 'em, Jesus gonna make 'em, Jesus gonna make 'em a dying bear. Well, yeah, my name's Reverend Freakchild, and anyway, we got a new little album called Hillbillies and Punk Blues coming out, and wrote a couple tunes on there myself, and good folks here from the day in Telegraph record store here asked me to play some originals, so maybe we'll play one off of there. This one's called All I Got Is Now. tripping all night long. Got trying to figure out what might go wrong. Waking up here in my mess. That's 'cause I keep forgetting lives and precious now. Yeah. Yesterday's a history. Tomorrow's not a mystery. All I got is now, but I keep forgetting that somehow. Well, now, oh, let's all face it, we all gonna die. Ain't nobody come back from that, yeah, except for maybe Jesus on high. We're all precious and permanent, yeah, got attitude and gratitude, yeah. I gotta just live my life, yeah, stop asking why. Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's all a mystery. All I got is now, I keep forgetting that somehow. You know what I mean? Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today's a gift, man. That's why it's called the present. Yeah, well, now, oh, getting what you want, that ain't real happiness. Seeking God in yourself, that's just a kind of emptiness. I'll tell you, man, if you gotta want what you get, that's the best thing that I've found, yeah. Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's not a mystery. All I got is now, yeah. Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's not a mystery. All I got is now, but I keep forgetting that somehow. Yeah, so just remember, whatever you may do, good, bad, or beautiful, it's gonna come back on you. So you find yourself in a real hellish place, better appeal to the better angels of your being and move on through that space. Yeah. Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's not a mystery. Yesterday's a history, tomorrow's not a mystery. Yesterday's a history, and tomorrow's not a mystery. I say, yesterday's a history, tomorrow's not a mystery. All I got is now, but I keep forgetting that somehow. Oh. Hey, there you go. Well, yeah, that's a little taste of the Reverend's writing there, but I think we were gonna maybe talk a little bit about the new album.
Do that.
Let the good people know about the good sounds, the good tunes.
Well, yeah, you do have a new record. Oh, I gotta give you a microphone.
Oh,
here.
all right. I'll take one of them. Thanks.
Hello.
Is it working?
I think so.
All right, cool. All right. This is the Reverend Freakchild, and thank you guys for joining us on Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Coster from The Day. Stream at theday.com, and we are live from the Telegraph Record Shop in New London. Now, those of you who are here are here. That's
We are.
Zen, isn't it?
We are here, man.
But in case
here.
you see this or hear about it, we archive all of these shows at theday.com. So when the Rev is back in Boulder, where he lives now, he can just watch it over and over again.
Yeah. I don't know if I could take that much, Reverend, man. Holy mackerel. It's hard enough living it with myself.
You do have a new CD out.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit.
We're loving this. I mean, me, myself, and I, we here are loving it. But everybody that was involved with this project, I think, is really enjoying this. I have a good friend, Hugh Poole, who's just he's my blues guru, and he's out of New York City, and he has this a consummate performer and just a guitar player, an amazing harp player, and anything you put in this guy's hands is just magic. And he has a studio down in New York called Excello, and I literally been talking about for the 10 years getting together and doing a project. So I was out in Boulder. I came back for a holiday here with my family there, still in the city. And honestly, just take, it's nice to see family, but I was like, oh, I got to do this project, man. So I thought it was like an excuse to get away from the fam and hang out with you for, we recorded it all in 4 days, 10 tracks, and then banged it out the mixes in a day. And so, I had some friends. This one fellow who I'm still really not sure why he wants to play with me. This drummer on this album, Chris Parker. Yep. He's such a mild-mannered dude, and we were just talking and hanging out. And before I knew it, he was like, "Hey man, we should get together and play some stuff." And I said, "All right, man." And I Googled this guy. This guy's played with everybody. He played with Dylan and Joe Cocker and John Hammond Jr. And I said, "You want to play with me?" He's like, "Yeah, man. Let's definitely get a project together, man." And he also played in Paul Butterfield's blues band, wow, the second incarnation of it. So he didn't get invited to the award ceremony at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because that was just for the original one, with Mike Bloomfield and Elton Bishop and everything. But man, this guy's played with everything. So he's been playing a lot of jazz lately. So I thought he was going to come in and do this session like really jazzy. He came in there, it was like 1977. It was like go bang. I was like, whoa, man, this is awesome. And so then you had Hugh producing, who's this great guy, and he would just put a little like on that track. I can hardly do justice to it. The drumming on that is infectious, and then Hugh put some lap steel on top of it, just some beautiful little figures, and they just made me sound a whole bunch better than I ever could sound. So it's hard to live up to it now. Oh, believe me, you're living up to it, and it's always fun to hear the kind of the strip down where it came from to begin with. This is definitely the negative, if you will, if you want to make the old time photo analogy. For those of people that don't know, it wasn't always on your phone. Yeah. You make a picture, there was a negative, and then you could print a picture, and you could print all kinds of different things. I guess you can still do that with Photoshop and stuff. Yeah, I think you can. So maybe it was like that's the analogy. Like I made a picture, and then they put all this amazing magic on. I was like, wow, that's not even like the picture that I took, man. Yeah. We're talking about the Hillbilly Zen Punk Blues, which is a new album from Reverend Freakchild. Where can folks find this? Well, you can get it at www.Treated and Released Records. That's our record label there. But also, you just put the Reverend Freakchild into your electronic symphonic replicator or whatever you want to do in there. It'll pop up and you can get it and download it. And we have CDs here actually. And actually Chris, who did the drumming, he did the artwork on this too. He's quite a painter now, so we got him to do that, and that was nice. It's a nice evocative cover. Yeah, it's more mellow. I think it's interesting that you were born into a military family, but you lived in Hawaii, New York City, Boston. Your mom wanted you to play classical music. She was a classical musician. She still is. She's quite talented. I just didn't ever, my youth was a lot of, I don't hear you practicing in there. I was like, but my dad turned me on to the blues when I was just... Is that where it came from? Yeah. About 6 years old, he taught me how to shoot dice and to like Muddy Waters in the background. I was like, this makes much more sense than practicing all those scales, man. So, anyway, yeah, that was always just made sense to me. It was like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, like driving around with my dad, and that kind of sunk in a whole different way, It made sense on some other level, so I always just came back to that. Of course, in the 80s, got wrapped up in the neo-hippie kind of thing, some other hobbies of chemical and persuasion. But then that all was like blues-based music, and it just all that stuff just always came back to that. Even seeing, I met Garrett Dutton, G-Love, Special Sauce. Right. Saw him playing on the streets of Boston when I first met him, and this was before he was famous and everything. And I thought, wow, he's just rapping over some figures, playing them on a guitar. I was like, talking blues and hip hop is like, it's just technology that separates them. It was 100 years of technology, you know? So it's the same kind of thing, But anyway, it always came kind of back to the stuff there. So this album, there's a handful of tunes that I wrote. There's a couple instrumentals on there, what I'd never done before. And then there's a couple covers. I got Reverend Gary Davis's, It'll Be All Right, and then a couple blues classic, tunes. I think it's interesting what you said about you always come back to it, because I remember reading when I was much younger a biography of Jimi Hendrix. Yeah. And at the height of his fame and creativity, he would get so stressed out, he would just go in a bedroom and turn off the lights and play the blues. Yeah, man. And that's Zen. Yeah, and exactly. It's like you're just returning to this simple
But on the other hand, it isn't simple.
Right. Well, you touch and base with the cosmos or whatever through whatever means it is, meditation or prayer or music,
Right.
Some kind of ecstatic activity, or lack thereof, But actually, I passed through. I was coming back across the country here back east, and I got the opportunity to stop by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sure.
I actually really wanted to see all the Paul Butterfield blues harps, and he's got tons of really amazing stuff. But I was walking through, and they have a little Jimi Hendrix exhibit, and they actually Al Hendrix's dad had donated the couch where he probably went and sat and played blues just
tremendous.
for himself, And there's the couch right there. I was like, wow, man, he played a lot. He's like, that couch has heard some tunes, man. Yeah.
This has nothing to do with you, and this is the ego of the quote-unquote interviewer taking over. But I was at Hendrix's grave in Renton, Washington one time, and an elderly gentleman was leaving, and someone said, "You know who that is?" I said, "No, that's Al Hendrix."
Whoa,
he was
right there, right
living
on.
his own son's
I got to make the
grave.
pilgrimage now that you remind me, because we're gonna head down south and up the coast, and I'll be up in. It's in Seattle, or
it's just south of Seattle in Renton. And I was trying to find the cemetery, and I pulled into this convenience store, and there was a young lady sitting there. I said, "I know I'm real close," and this was before the GPS and all that stuff.
Right.
I know I'm real close, but can you tell me where Jimi Hendrix is buried? And she goes, chewing gum. She goes, "Jimmy who?"
Oh.
So the manager comes out of the back. He goes, "Don't ask her."
Right,
Jimi
exactly.
Hendrix take 2 blocks down. And turn
Nice,
left
he
and
knew.
left. So,
Good,
yeah,
good.
he knew, so.
Yeah, I got to make a pilgrimage there. I also got to go see Reverend Gary Davis's grave.
Is that in Mississippi or
No,
Alabama?
he's actually buried in Queens. I think he had a
Really?
sister.
Really? Well,
And
I
he
didn't know.
spent a lot of time in New York, so he's relatively local here. So yeah, a couple. I don't know. Was Jimi Hendrix's grave like I've seen pictures of Jim Morrison's grave in France,
Right.
And there's all that graffiti going up there. No,
it's
very
it's
respectful.
inset level,
Nice.
so you can mow over it. And there was,
Yeah.
like a couple of guitar picks and a handwritten note that had been spattered by rain because it is
Right.
Washington.
Yeah.
And I think there was like a rolled joint there.
Right. Hey, it comes with the territory. But anyway, I heard about Jim Morrison's grave. He's in the cemetery where like Chopin is buried and all these people.
Edith Piaf,
and they lease the graves. They're not going to renew his lease. They're going to take him out. They got to take him out of there.
Because so many people.
There's so many people just destroying stuff over there. But hey,
You can come to my backyard.
yeah. Well, John Lennon there's no official gravesite for him. So I used to busk a lot in the city at
Right.
the Imagine Mosaic there,
Right.
in Strawberry Fields.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, people would. British and Japanese people it was like a mecca site for them. Plus Americans,
Sure.
But yeah, John Lennon. Everybody said John Lennon. all the Japanese girls.
And the Reverend would say, he's buried in my apartment.
Right. It's like, you want to come back and check it.
All right, thank you for being with us. This is Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Coster, and this is the Reverend Freakchild. Would you do us the honor of playing a few more
Oh,
tunes?
man, it'd be my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
All right.
Reverend Freakchild. Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem, man. Electronic stiffs. It's nice to be going pure acoustic here. Well, I heard the Prez was in town yesterday, speaking at the Coast Guard Academy. Actually saw him last year at West Point. I guess he takes turns going around to the military academies. Well, maybe we'll try one of these. Instead of going on a political tirade, we'll go on a we'll play an instrumental and let the music do the talking.
to it. It's kind of like almost like a banjo breakdown with some strange stuff in it, but a little East Indian thing called a soul transforming realization. Bug out on that one. Anyway. Well, here's another Reverend Freakchild original. This is a tune called Keep On Truckin'. I saw a broken Bible along the highway, pages flapping in the wind. Leaving LA, the traffic was two-way. I didn't see no end. Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. Now I'm driving up to Denver for dinner. Hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all for listening here in the store and everybody else in the universe, maybe. Maybe some aliens tuning in. Anyway, thank y'all for having me here, you know, and I hope y'all keep on trucking in the best way that you can. And I'll do one more for here. When that moon come up on the red, yeah, in the sea, yeah, begin to boil. May the Lord have mercy on us all. Yeah, maybe yeah, them angels gone. Home is blue and feels gone. Home is warm and dry. Home is blue and feels gone. Yes, my baby, miss her all day long. When that lamb signs at seventh hill, yeah, and the devil of the New Orleans did kill. Yeah, little Lord, have mercy on us all. Hear them angels call.
The Reverend Freakchild. The album is called Hillbillies Zen Punk Blues. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, man.
It was tremendous, and he's headed south, then west, and up the west coast, so look for him wherever you might see him. He is traveling with Papa Legba.
Yeah,
it's a little
my
bit,
co-pilot, man.
Yeah, little
Trying to behave myself.
Little earlier album joke, so that gives you more reason to dip into the catalog. This is Rick Coster for Live Lunch Break. Thanks to Rich, of course, as always, for having us in the Telegraph record shop. Thanks to Pete for getting it right in the house. Next week, we have Jorge Verde with us. And you guys have a safe weekend, Memorial Day. Think about those who gave their lives for us. And protect our freedoms. And look for the Reverend.
Right. Thank you so much, man.